Hey everyone, and welcome to the ROLINC Recruiting Roundup, where we cover hiring trends, best recruiting practices, and beyond. I'm Jasmine Weber, the Director of Executive Recruiting and Marketing.
And I am Adrian Dominguez, the CEO of ROLINC Staffing, former president of the Colorado Staffing Association, now Speaker of the House. Having fun with that.
Too many titles to keep track of there, but love it. And today we are going to be sharing the biggest workplace hiring trends for 2024, including job certainty, remote versus hybrid work, longer interview processes, and mental health. So these are all things that should be on your radar coming up for 2024, and we're going to dive right in. So Adrian, take it away.
Absolutely. So I'm going to be citing a survey that was taken just shortly ago within the last month or so. And this survey cites several hundred employees that were surveyed in response to their thoughts for 2024. Now, what I find to be really interesting about this, Jasmine, is that the data, to me, it reminds me of a lot of this year. It seems very conflicted. So we're going to talk about job certainty to kick this off. Here's an interesting conflict of data. So 85% of employees that were surveyed fear losing their job in 2024. So that's not half.
That's a lot.
Like, well, yeah, you're 15% away from everybody. That's like a
Right.
super majority, in my opinion. 85% are afraid of losing their job, and yet 43% say that they anticipate more job openings in 2024. And then I think Bloomberg put out a report yesterday from Goldman Sachs about how GDP is expected to grow by 2.4%. So
Okay.
a lot of conversation right now. I think last year going into 2023, it was we might have a recession, and a super majority of people also anticipate a continued recession in 2024. So, at the end of the day, the question as an employer is, what do I do with all this data that seems to be conflicting? And I think the main takeaway for me is that while the economy is still expected to grow, employers are still going to be somewhat selective as they were this year. And people that are currently working, which is obviously the vast majority of the workforce, they are not so certain about their place of work. So what that says is this: if you are hiring, you have opportunity to gain the attention of someone who has less stability, or at least feels they have less stability in their place of
Yeah.
employment. I think the people that will win out in the talent battle, if we're going in that direction with the conversation, will be people that can present a greater sense of stability.
Next, we're going to talk about remote versus hybrid work flexibility and how 2024 is still bringing, I think, that challenge of finding the happy medium in what works best for a team or a specific employee. We've seen companies that went totally fully remote. Now they're forcing people to go back full into office. They're losing employees. Or vice versa. I think our team's actually a great example of there is no one size fits all. We've got, full in office team. We've got some that are fully remote. And not only is that based off of what the team and employees prefer, but I think the type of work we do affects that as well. We've got more hands-on recruiters that are having to do, in-person interviews, screenings, drug screenings. And then you've got positions where I'm focusing more on people that are mostly remote. So there's just a total difference in jobs and what that entails. Next, we'll talk about the longer interview processes. I'll pass that one over to you.
Yeah. Hop to. Here we go. So 63% of the survey respondents said that they expect a longer interview process in 2024. If anything, what that says is that employers and hiring managers, we have a lot of work to do to find a way to abbreviate that. It doesn't mean that you sacrifice the quality of the process or what it is you're actually going after. But I can give you an example of a real life example. We had a client that had of, I think, 5 rounds of interviews, and toward the end, the candidate went with another offer. Well, it was longer, and who knows, maybe we could make the argument, well, that was the better opportunity, you should have held out. Maybe, but we were not in their shoes, and I think ultimately, again, what it points to in my mind is that, employers still the pendulum is still kind of on that side of things, and while there are some decisions that are being made to essentially tip the hat at the employee and go, "We see you, we hear you," um, the there's a lot of work to be done there, a lot of
Yeah.
work.
Agreed.
And I think that if the companies that find a way to not sacrifice their values and not sacrifice what matters to them, and at the same time understand that I'm sure you've heard this before, Jasmine, time kills all deals.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I think, candidates that are super excited about a job and an opportunity and they're cutting their schedules to make these things work
Mm.
and then it's not reciprocated, really takes a wind out of their
Yes.
sails.
Yes.
And I've talked about it before. I think the interview process is really the lens that any job seeker has into your
Right.
company. And
Wow.
if that's taking too long, it's like, are they going to drag their feet when I need something once I'm hired on? So yeah, I think definitely interview process is something we should keep an eye on. And then next is mental health advocacy, which has been playing, I think, a huge role in the workplace over the last few years. Again, I think COVID kind of really
Sure.
had a toll on that. And it's going to continue to have an impact on job seekers and employers throughout 2024's hiring landscape. Employees are expecting better work-life balance and more mental health resources. But the good thing is it looks like employers are responding too, which is nice. So yeah, companies are definitely offering better PTO and health plans and mental resources and really just investing more into their employees' overall well-being, and thinking a little bit more outside of the box in terms of just work parties, pizza parties, what really are these job seekers looking for? So that's what they want. And honestly, that's what's going to win out in terms of if they're looking at one job versus the other.
I get it. I completely get it. But I just want to know, did you ever work for a company that did pizza parties? Go.
I don't think I did. And if I did, there's a difference in having a little get together with your team and
Right.
also having good benefits. But it's where they're
Right.
like, we do pizza parties every Thursday. And it's like, I'll go order my own pizza at home. Like
Right.
that's
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's kind of that the companies that take it is like that's their own.
That's the benefit. Sometimes job burnout really means family burnout, finance burnout,
Yeah.
inflation burnout. I can't find a home for under $750,000 burnout.
Yep,
Like it's a lot of things.
for sure. Like you said, happy
That's
people are going to do better work. It sounds like the obvious thing, just to be human and to care for your people. But I talked to so many candidates that are like, I'm leaving because I don't want to be just a number. I want them
Right.
to, care a little bit more about me. So yeah, I
Right.
think focusing on that in 2024 is going to go a long way with job seekers and really building long-term teams as well. So that is going to wrap up what we're chatting about today. We thank you guys for joining the ROLINC Recruiting Roundup, where we talked about the hiring trends for 2024. And if any of these especially resonated with you or you're seeing additional trends, feel free to give us a shout out in the comments below. And join us next time when we're going to highlight a few more important hiring trends in 2024, integrating AI into recruitment, what platforms candidates are spending most of their time on, and salary transparency will be just a few of those. And as always, if you're looking to hire talent on your team from skilled trades roles to C-level executives, sales and marketing professionals, we're happy to connect and see if we could be a resource.
Absolutely. And I would just like to say thanks, Jasmine, for letting me be a part of this. And
Yeah.
if you enjoyed this, let me know. If you didn't like this, let Jasmine know. I'm just kidding.
Don't
My
let
line.
either
It's
of
my
us know.
line.
No.
My line.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you soon.